Hi folks, and welcome to PlastiQ Critiques, the weekly review show where I round up the biggest people I know, my friends, to review RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 2. This week's special guest, my pal, all the way from the Emerald Isles, the gorgeous Elle Uminati is here. Hi, Elle. Hi, how are you doing? How's lockdown treating you?
It's okay. It's not, but I'm used to it now.
It's very different in Ireland to what we've experienced here.
So, we can't leave within 5 kilometres of our home. We do kilometres here now, it's really confusing. Which is 3 miles. So it's kind of like being in prison a little bit. But,
yeah, I can imagine you going a bit stir crazy over there. Move home. I think that's the way around it. Just move back home, and we can have you back.
Yeah, soon.
Have you been enjoying RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 2?
I have, yeah. I'm enjoying this season more than the first season so far. I think the cast this time is more... What's the word? There's a big diversity of contestants this time compared to Season 1, I think.
Yeah, I think RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 1, apparently we say RuPaul's Drag Race UK a lot in the video, it helps the algorithm. So RuPaul's Drag Race Season 1, I think the cast was very kind of all cut from the same cloth. And I think you're right, this year there really does seem to be that kind of real mix of every type of drag all in one room.
Definitely, and it's nice to see, last season we kind of had the a few alternative queens.
Yeah.
Whereas this time they really have branched out and got a lot of different kind of drag, which is nice.
So last week we had the Rats the Musical. And Cherry went home, and what's her name? Viola Davis won. What did you think of that?
Based on the lip sync, I totally agree with the decision. As I say, I'm a Taste stan, so I'm so glad that Taste stayed. I personally think if Tia's runway had been better, she would have won the challenge.
Yeah.
So I think that was a shame for her that her runway let her down.
Yeah, I just don't think she brought, so far anyway, and we've only seen 4 looks that she's brought, and then tonight we've seen 1 look that she made. But I don't think she's brought good stuff.
I think it's a case of, I know everyone's drag is different, and it's not all about aesthetic in the UK, but she told us at the beginning of that episode that she'd worn her worst looks. And then
and then brought out a worse one.
Yeah. Her entrance look, okay, it was a powder dress or whatever, but it's better than the reveal outfit.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm all for that kind of pedestrian kind of look in drag. I've been known to maybe wear a skinny jean or do something a bit more dressed down. Yeah. And I think Estina does that kind of pedestrian kind of dressed down look well.
I think the issue here is that this is Drag Race.
Yeah.
You wouldn't wear skinny jean on Drag Race unless it was custom and it was a challenge.
Yeah, you need to really if your drag's here, it needs to be here when you go on that show.
Yeah, and I think the caliber of looks so far, especially compared to Drag Race Season 1, is way up there. It's a lot more Americanized in terms of look.
Yeah.
So I think that's why Tia might be struggling. Yeah.
I think we're past the stage where you can bag of clips your way through the competition.
Definitely. I think so.
So they really need to step their pussies up. And perfect kind of opportunity to do it this week with the challenge being a sewing challenge. And I think the mini challenge kind of really let them show some personality. So I think they had a good kind of scope to show their personality and show what they can do this episode.
To see the likes of a horror kind of had a bit of a personality in that time where we haven't really seen that as of yet. So it was nice to see that kind of thing, especially Ellie as well. Ellie seems lovely, and it was nice that she kind of got to shine a little bit.
Yeah. She's been a bit quiet so far.
She has been.
But the episode starts. Let's start from the beginning, because according to my good friend Julie Andrews, who I did Panto with in Chiswick, that's a very good place to start. So the episode starts, everyone kind of comes back into the workroom from last week. People are kind of a little bit about Cherry going home. Do you think anyone was really kind of upset about it?
I don't think anyone was upset as such. Like, yes, Cherry was lovely, and it was nice to see some northeast representation on Drag Race. But I think because everyone seems to be like in their little pairs and groups, Cherry wasn't really part of a group or a pair.
Yeah.
No one really was bothered, I guess.
Yeah, I think the main kind of feeling in the room was Tace's kind of determination to get back on top.
We saw Tia say it, like, obviously Joe Black is such a legend, went home first, and then Cherry went home.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think the main difference between Joe Black and Cherry is Joe Black hadn't even scratched the surface of what Joe Black can do before they were sent home. And I think with Cherry, we kind of seen what Cherry could do. Based on what I've kind of seen on Instagram and blah, 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 I think we've seen enough of Cherry to go, oh, well, that's Cherry.
Yeah, like, Cherry is stunning. And, you know, she told us at the beginning of the episode she could sing, she could dance, she could do whatever. I don't know if she delivered that episode. So if you're not going to live up to it, then maybe it is time to...
Yeah. And RuPaul comes in, and it's mini challenge time. Really, really, really enjoyed the mini challenge this week.
It was nice to see something different. To my knowledge, we've not seen a limbo challenge on Drag Race.
I'm trying to think. If anyone would know, it would be you.
I feel like me and you are the kind of swaps when it comes to...
We definitely had like that song before, that cha-cha.
It was very similar to the likes of, obviously, last time we had the, is it the Maypole or whatever it is? Like,
yeah.
It was similar, but it was a bit more fun.
I think it was just a really kind of like nothing mini challenge where there's nothing at stake. Everyone's just there to have fun. There's no real kind of competition. And those are kind of the moments of Drag Race that I really enjoy to see because it shows the girls in a true light. It
does. It gave us an opportunity to see kind of everyone have a laugh with each other. Maybe, you know, there was no competition. And because at that point they didn't know there was a prize or anything, I think that potentially made a difference.
I don't think they won anything. I think they just won. Yeah. Oh, they won. They got the chance to kind of give each other a colour. Well,
like that's...
It's not. You can't really make or break someone depending on what colour you give them.
Definitely not.
But I think my standout moments from the mini challenge have to be one, Ginny Lemon just walking under the bar because she's so short.
So good.
Hilarious. And how much Ellie Diamond was just going for it.
I feel so sorry for her. She looked like she was going to pop out of the costume. But
I mean, we've all been there.
I'm so glad.
Not on BBC Three, but we've all been there.
It was so good that it didn't phase her because I think a lot of people would be like, oh my god, like, allowed to flash on national television.
Yeah. I think that's the thing with this mini challenge. It was so hard to be phased. Because the point is, you are meant to look ugly and you are meant to have fun. And I think they all had fun and I think they all looked ugly.
Yeah, and obviously everyone fell over. And even Ahura, like, falling over, I thought she'd be mortified.
For me, this episode, I started to see small little cracks in Ahura's kind of ice-cold facade.
I'm a massive Ahura fan, I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's... Do I see a bit myself in a horror, or do I want a horror in me? But I don't know. And again, I know you and Layla touched on the fact maybe this is a game plan. Now's the right week if this is a game plan to kind of be more vulnerable.
Yeah. I think she started showing bits of that at the beginning by having fun and having a laugh.
Yeah.
But then the front was straight back up towards the end, I think.
It was.
Also, I have to talk about how amazing Lawrence Trady looked in this mini challenge. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
We've all seen the Pebble Dash picture in Pink Room.
If we haven't, I'll insert it here.
Dude, that's all I could see. It was just Pebble.
And it's really at the point where we're really starting to see fleshed out characters. I'm really starting to kind of warm to what's her name? Verity. Verity is really trying to like steal the limelight for me a bit. Winning the mini challenge with Tace as well.
It was the best she's looked all season so far. Was that mini challenge?
Well, yeah, but her makeup looked exactly the same.
Well,
She's not a a massive fan of cosmetics.
I've heard a lot of people compare it to Courtney Act.
A lot of blind people?
No, whether it's the wig by Vanity or whether it's the singing.
Maybe. It is kind of like the UK's answer to Courtney Act, isn't it? It's like they've already been on reality TV because they did All Together now.
Yeah.
They sing, they wear no makeup, their dresses are cheap, and they're wearing a wigs by Vanity. Yeah. Courtney Act to me. But yeah, I'm actually starting to really warm to her because I think she's starting to come out of her shell as well. I think she's starting to get a bit more confidence. And I think it's probably because she's watched the last kind of couple of weeks of these reviews and realised that she really needs to step her game up because I told her to. That's you're welcome. But yeah, so Vicky and Tace win the mini challenge and get to assign the colours for the pairs because this week's main challenge is a Who Wore It Best sewing challenge.
Yes.
How do you think you do in this? I feel like this is kind of the challenge for you.
I feel like both myself and you, this is kind of our... It wasn't a themed challenge. It was a do what you want with this box of material. It was specifically fashion. It wasn't, make like a panto costume or...
Yeah. Make an outfit made of money. Make an outfit that makes you look like a bee. Make an outfit that makes you look like you're about to do a smear test. Like, there's nothing like too nitty-picky about it.
Anything. Which was nice, and because I feel like we've not had that in Drag Race for a very long time now.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time we did. I think the closest kind of challenge we had to this was the season 6 opening, where they got a box full of fabric.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily you have to dress like something. You just have to make what you can out of this box of fabric.
Yeah, and sometimes I think that's better. It gives us an opportunity to see, are people actually creative?
Yeah.
If you're given a theme, like, we can automatically go, oh yeah, that fits the theme. Whereas they've got to do something themselves, it's a bit hit and miss sometimes.
I think it really exposes people's level of creativity and people's taste level, these kind of challenges. How do people cope not being dressed by someone? But the colours were, you had green, pink, blue, black and gold. What colour would you want?
I guess I'd probably go black or pink. Not that it was a difficult colour. All the colours, if you're going to make something good, you're going to make something good.
Yeah.
With this challenge. I wouldn't have picked green.
I think I would have picked green.
I love green, but Tia said it, Michelle hates green, says it every season.
Yeah.
You're automatically up against it then.
But then, if it is amazing and Michelle loves it, she loves it even more for you making something in Ellie's favourite colour that she actually enjoyed. So they've all kind of teamed up as their best friends and they go off to make their looks.
They do.
Who do you think kind of had an advantage in the in this challenge?
Obviously, Ahura, being a fashion graduate, automatically has a leg up, and therefore kind of Tace does as well.
Went to the best fashion school in London or in the UK?
Yeah, so...
Where did she graduate from?
I assume it's London College of Fashion. I don't think so.
See, now, I thought it was St Martin's, because if she's saying best fashion school in the UK, she's wrong by saying school of fashion.
I think she looks as a boy and a girl in London College of Fashion.
Oh, yeah, she's got that look. She doesn't look very Central St Martin's.
It would be interesting to find out, though.
I mean, probably Google it. We'll get a stagehand to Google it. I've got my researchers on it now. So yeah, I think Ahura does have kind of advantage as a seamstress. Vicky probably got a bit of an advantage. She makes all her own.
Yeah, because she's been there for so long, you'd assume she knows how to knock something up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think if I were to go on there, and knowing fine well there will be a sewing challenge at one point on this season, wouldn't you take 3 or 4 patterns with you?
Yeah, see,
they're made of paper. You fold them up. They go in your pocket.
This is the thing as well. Obviously, we get a queen every season who says they can't sew. To me, that's like coming to Drag Race without a Snatch Game character.
If you're auditioning for Drag Race and you're like, constantly auditioning year after year, and especially with the UK girls who've been waiting for the season, like for RuPaul to come to the UK for so long, wouldn't you have done a night class or something?
There's so many YouTube videos out there now of sewing machine, how to make a basic dress. Like, you'd think they'd do something, but obviously not.
News just in: Ahura did go to the London College of Fashion. There we go. Yeah, you were right. She does look like a London College of Fashion.
She does.
Well, I went to the third best design school in the country. So, yeah, suck on that, Ahura. So RuPaul kind of comes around all the queens. Lawrence lets slip that there seems to be some sexual tension between Tayce and Ahura. I am right in thinking they've like done it.
I'm pretty sure Ahura alluded to it last week. There's been something.
It's either because I know they live together in London.
Yes, I learned this the other day from Instagram.
So is it we actually have, or is it, oh, we're both going on Drag Race, should we pretend we have, so we've got like a bit more of a storyline?
I can't imagine Tayce going for Ahura.
Yeah, to be fair, I can't imagine Ahura going for Tayce.
No.
No, I imagine Ahura would like literally want to go with someone who looked exactly like Ahura.
Okay, I can see that. I know what you mean. Yeah, I don't know. Is it a storyline thing? But then, if it is just a storyline, oh my god, you'd be mortified to have that storyline. Yeah,
it's not the storyline I'd want.
It's not a great one, is it? Like, oh,
I'd want something more like Ellie Diamond, where I'm like, oh, I used to sell chicken nuggets.
I think for me personally, a lot of UK queens and obviously Irish queens over here, you know, most of us have a day job.
I mean, yeah, I didn't used to, thanks coronavirus, but like,
unless you
a lot of people do.
In multiple venues, 5 or 7 nights a week, though, you do need a second job. Obviously, RuPaul and Michelle living in the American world are like, oh, drag's the be-all, end-all, you don't need a job.
Yeah.
Probably not the case here yet.
I think it's right in what they say, though, that Scotland is such a low booking fee. And you find the further north you get, that the booking fee kind of drips off a bit. You get like good money in London, then great money in Brighton, and then all the right money in Manchester and Leeds, and then Newcastle you get 2 free drinks on a Sunday. And then, like Scotland you get like 15 quid for a guest slot. Like,
yeah,
it's the wealth's disproportionate across the country.
Definitely.
When Ru kind of walks his way over to Ahura and Tayce, he does bring it up, and I found what Tayce said. I don't know if it's just because Lawrence didn't hear, but it felt a bit too bitchy for Tayce.
Obviously, we've not really seen any sides to Tayce other than like over the top, Welsh, likeable. So I don't know. Was it an attempt at a joke that didn't really land? Like, obviously everyone kind of and stuff, but some of the faces in the room were like, oh my god, did she just say that? Like, what's going on? And I don't really think that's the narrative you want.
No. And I think the best kind of moment of that was when Tia Coffee turned to Lawrence and went, did you hear that? I was just like, no, why? Oh, I won't repeat it, Tia. That really made me laugh for some reason. I like that kind of over-the-top them. That over-the-top kind of like, oh yeah, sissy stuff. Because that's the kind of stuff that I like. That's my kind of humor.
Which is nice to see on television.
Yeah. I think they've all kind of formed a really nice friendship group. I think that's something you can see quite clearly.
Obviously, you know, Ahura's bickered with pretty much everyone at this point.
Yes.
But other than that, they kind of all seem to be getting on okay. We haven't had the drama of last season yet, where it's the Vivienne versus Davina or Cheryl versus Vivienne. We've had none of that as of yet, which is a nice change.
I think Tia and Ahura are going to have that thing kind of going. And it's not even Tia. I think Ahura is going to have that kind of hatred for Tia for whatever reason. I think it genuinely comes down to Ahura is yet to be critiqued on the runway.
Yeah.
And that annoys her.
Also, like, obviously they're from the same area. Has that got anything to do with it that we don't know yet? Or is it just a case of Ahura doesn't like anyone that can do what she can? I've not seen her sing or dance.
Yeah.
Yet. So is it that? I don't know.
I think Ahura doesn't like anyone with a personality.
I think, obviously, we've not really seen Ahura have a personality as of yet, other than, you know, the villain edit of the season, kind of into fashion, I don't speak to anyone, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Obviously, that's not a personality, unfortunately.
Yeah.
She's not that likeable yet. So it'll be nice to see the show out that, or is that just her for the season now?
So Ru announces that the challenge is going to be judged tops versus bottoms. One of each pair is going to win, and one of each pair is going to be up for elimination.
Yeah.
When Ru announced this, I turned to Layla and said, the second Ru announced it, I would have been over at your station and ripped the zipper out of your dress, because I am cutthroat.
It was one of the best challenge twists I think we've seen for a long time in both the UK season and the American season. Now, obviously, it was a who wore it best thing, so we knew something was going to come about, but not split down the middle like that. And I think it puts people in a situation where it's very, with me and you paired up on it, we both console.
Yeah.
Lawrence and Ellie both console. It puts them in a situation of, oh shit, how are we going to do this one?
Yeah, and that was a close one. I really thought it was going to be we'll judge you down the line. Ahura, you won. Bimini, you won. Sister, you won. Vicky, you won. Lawrence and Ellie, double win. Congratulations.
I thought that might have been the case, and I did feel sorry for Ellie. She genuinely looked gutted.
Yeah, Ellie was the kind of one person that probably didn't deserve to be in the bottom two.
Yes. Yeah.
But do you think that kind of added any extra pressure to the girls? I think it definitely got to Tia, Coffee, and Vicky.
Yeah, we kind of saw Veronica go, oh shit, what if I send my friend home? Which obviously, no one wants to send their friend home, but at the end of the day, it is a competition.
But Vicky, listen here, bitch. If you want to win, you're going to have to send your friends home. You can't just be oh, well, they're all my friends, so I'd like to keep them all here until the final, and then just give me the crown. Because it doesn't work like that, Vicky.
Strategically, I don't think the pairings would have changed. Because if Veronica was going to pick strategically, she's going to pick a non-seamstress, such as Tia.
Yeah.
Or going to pick someone who can't sew. Tates. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they were good friends and all that, but also strategically, it really worked out for them.
So when Ru's kind of doing his walk around, he asks Ginny to be a bit more sexy. And Ginny seems to have this kind of really strong kind of confidence issue in how Ginny views themselves.
Yeah, and I think it was quite shocking because, in Drag Race and out of Drag Race, we know Ginny is this really, I thought, confident person. They're really out there, they do their own thing, they're not worried about any backlash. So I was surprised to see that they do have this kind of vulnerable side, and I think it was nice to see.
It was a bit kind of sad because I always thought in my kind of knowledge of Ginny dresses and acts that way because they're unique and that's just their style.
Yeah,
but now I know that that's covering something up that they feel self-conscious about. I feel for them.
Obviously, I've never seen Ginny on show. I've only seen Ginny from Instagram, Facebook, social media. But I thought Ginny's styling and stuff was just a fashion thing. I didn't think it was an identity thing. And I think it was nice as a viewer to be able to see that vulnerable side to Ginny, and see that, they don't have this hard exterior that we maybe thought they did.
Yeah. I think I relate a lot to Ginny, especially when Ginny started talking about their struggles with their gender identity. I think a lot of and it's great to see this kind of upsurge in non-binary genders kind of being at the forefront of things.
And in Drag Race, as a thing, we've not really had many non-binary, open non-binary contenders.
Yeah.
I think, was it Gigi in season 12 who kind of touched upon it? We had Valentina came out as non-binary.
Valentina didn't come out until after the show.
you know, this is kind of the first time we've had a non-binary discussion in the Drag Race fandom, which is great.
Yeah.
It's nice to have it, you know, come into the focal light a bit and it to be discussed, especially in Britain, because it's not so long ago that, you know, kids were getting buddies being gay, lesbian. We didn't even, like, when I was a kid, non-binary wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, and that was only like last week. But like, genuinely, I think it's so great to see it in mainstream media, because I think, and this is me kind of talking from personal experience, even very recently, I've had struggles kind of trying to get people to understand my pronouns, getting people to understand what I am, where I fit in. And I think it's really good that, like, we can see this in media now, and it's...
Yeah, like, as a kid growing up, I was talking to my friend the other day, the only gay thing I can remember growing up on TV was a scene in Shameless when I was like 11.
Yeah.
That's it. So now, obviously, the times have changed since 10 years ago, but we never had a non-binary representation on media ever in the UK. And with this, I kind of think we're starting to.
Yeah, I think definitely with the likes of kind of in fashion more than anything, but Billy Porter, Harry Styles, that kind of like vibe of men in dresses. It's not women's clothes anymore. Yeah. There's no men's and women's clothes.
Exactly, which is great. I think this is the perfect balance to show that.
Yeah, I think, like, even me, when I go to the office, I feel just as comfortable going to the office in like jeans and trainers as I do in like heels and a pussy bow blouse.
Which is exactly how it should be, and I think it's a great time for non-binary representation in the media, obviously. And now that, you know, Drag Race viewers are so young now,
yeah,
it's giving everyone validation that they might need that they're not getting from home, friends, or other forms of media.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think when I was kind of young and kind of seeing queer people on TV, kind of less trans people, but more drag kind of on TV. And we're talking when I was young, it was kind of the only real drag I remember seeing was kind of the back end of Lily Savage.
I remember Dame Edna. And that's it.
Oh, Dame Edna, yeah. He is a Trump supporter, so I'm not talking about it. But but yeah, like, but even Dame Edna, that's kind of breaking the norms, because Dame Edna is a heterosexual man.
Yeah.
So it's now, as a child, if I was kind of 11, 12 years old watching Drag Race now, and I heard this conversation, I would go, oh my God, that's where I fit in life.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't have took me 24 years to figure it out.
Exactly. And I think, you know, compared to when we were kids, times have changed so much, and it's great to see that Drag Race is being the platform for in the UK at the moment.
Yeah. I think we've really kind of seen some important political issues this season. We've had the conversation of Black representation on TV, and now we're having the kind of non-binary conversation.
Yeah,
and it really just kind of shows where the world is now in terms of what's important and what should be at the forefront. And it's really kind of pushing the racists and the homophobes and stuff into the closet. So, my favourite part of every episode ever, and I'm so glad you're here for it, runway time.
Runway.
So RuPaul comes out in this kind of asymmetrical pattern sequin, ruffle hair. What did you think of Ru's look?
It's a classic Ru silhouette.
A new classic Ru silhouette.
It didn't blow me away as much as some of the other looks this season, but it was standard. It was nice. It was
nice. I didn't dislike it. I thought I really liked the hair.
The hair was good. The hair's awesome.
I was kind of half and half with the dress.
Yeah. Interestingly, Katia posted on Instagram today an outfit made of the same fabric.
Yeah. Who wore it best?
Yeah.
We'll let the comment section decide. Do you think RuPaul wore the fabric best, or do you think Katia wore the fabric best? Comment below. Michelle looks gorgeous in a recycled dress. She's worn that on the US one.
Yeah. No, fast fashion. But,
yeah, it was nice. She wore it on season 11 or 12,
yeah.
And then she lent it to Tia Coffee to walk in. And then Tia Coffey gave it back for this episode. So it's been passed around. And Graham Norton's like, Graham Norton is, of Alan and Graham, I think Graham Norton's my favourite.
I think so too. I think Graham has more of a drag knowledge.
Yes.
Which is nice for the show. Like, yeah, it's great to have a bit of comedy there, but it is drag competition, you do want to see.
He knows drag, and like Tina Burner, he knows inside and out.
Oh. Was Graham Norton really famous in the 90s?
Yeah, Graham Norton's been around forever. Graham Norton used to be a guest on the RuPaul show back when the RuPaul show was on VH1. You were born in like 2004. Like
97.
And guest judge Jordan Dunn.
Jordan Dunn.
Who was she wearing? Do you know?
The hotel room blind by the looks of it. It was okay. It kind of came across as like maybe a ready-to-wear designer trying something different.
I think there was better things for Jordan to wear, but I think it's that annoying thing with models where they're so skinny and beautiful. They can literally wear Venetian blinds, and we go,
it's fine.
So it's time for the queens to head out on the runway in their pairs. So Team Black, we had Tace. What did you think of Tace's look?
I love Tace's look. If she'd been able to set up properly.
I think it's amazing. I mean, I'm all for a jacket with safety pins.
Not knowing how to sew, it was good. You know, the hair was lovely. Yeah, we did see episode 1, but she put pins in it. It was different. I didn't care for the shoe, but something like that.
I can't remember the shoe.
It was, you know, the mule that she wore for Naomi. It was kind of.
Oh yeah. I think it was it had like a punk vibe to it.
It was, for a fashion challenge, it was very fashion.
I wish she'd wore the hair that she wore for Rats the Musical with this look.
It would have been nice to have a colour in there. I don't know, was she just thinking, oh, I'll just wear literally all black? Even that.
Maybe.
But it would have been nice to kind of have something.
I know Tace's wigs, like I know the wigs that Tace has.
Yeah.
And I think Tace had better wigs than this. Like she's got that gorgeous one that's black with the white streaks in the front or the blonde streaks in the front. Something like that would have been better, just to break up the block.
Yeah.
But
if you put the pins in it, it would have been not as good of a look as it was.
Yeah. I think she made the right kind of styling choice to go for the safety pin thing. And I like the size of the safety pins as well. She had like larger ones.
Which made it look more expensive than if she just had a
Yes. It kept it more kind of Versace kind of.
Very Versace.
Yes.
Blondes as well, like if Versace and the blondes collaborated.
Yeah, especially with her hair. Like the blondes Disney like collection, that would be the Maleficent look of Versace.
Her Welsh dress is actually inspired by the Cruella dress in that show. So
I see it now.
Yeah, the blonde, I guess, is kind of a reference for her, but it's working, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other person in the black team, Ahura.
I loved Ahura's look to the ankle, and then she made the boots, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But then I felt the black should have continued into the foot.
I think it looked like she was wearing a cycling short because of that boot.
Well, Ahura obviously put a lot of work into it. They stoned it, she made the boot, she did a coat, she did a beret. But it didn't scream, what's the word? It was just very, like, typical drag.
It was the classic Coco Chanel thing of take one thing off.
When she could have really just kept the extra thing on. Yeah.
She said, no, I'm going to actually put on these boots and this legging and this blouse and the hair was, I didn't like the hair at all.
I like the hair with something else, just not with this.
Yeah. It looked a bit, like Layla said, that it looked like Sharon Needles' poodle runway.
It did. It was very, I kind of got Cruella de Vil vibes from it.
Cruella in her 20s before she turned evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't my favourite.
It was well made. It was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, she told us all that she came from the top fashion school in the country.
I mean, she's saying the designers stopped letting her be a designer because she did drag. I'm starting to think it's because she has zero taste level.
It was fun. It wasn't anything special, and we won't remember it next season.
Yeah, it was. I will quite easily go to bed tonight and forget all about it. Up next was Team Pink. Team Pink, Ginny.
Yeah.
Ginny Lemon, God love her. In her hip pads and her boobies.
You know, props to them for doing Ru's challenge. However, if that hadn't been Ru's challenge to do sexy, I could have seen Ginny in the bottom.
Yeah.
It was...
I think she did well to listen to Ru and pat her hips and wear the breastplate and stuff like that.
Ginny did the personal challenge that Ru set, which is great.
Yes.
Was it good? No.
Do you know what would have improved that look? Like, literally, like 100% improved that look? A belt and a 6-inch heel.
Yeah.
If she had like a big yellow belt on,
just
and a 6-inch heel, she would have had like a shape and maybe a bit of a tease in her wig just to.
Don't get me wrong, it was stoned, which was nice. It was an okay fabric. The shoes matched the wig.
Yeah, it was Ginny doing sexy.
It was Ginny doing sexy. But yeah, if Ru hadn't asked Ginny to be sexy this week, I would have put her in the back.
Yeah, and I think if Ru hadn't asked Ginny to be sexy this week, Ginny would have done something a lot better.
I think so too. I think what she had on the dress form for the 80s kind of the trash bag dress, as she was calling it, looked like the tube sock that she came out in. I think it was unfortunate for Ginny this week. Obviously, you know, we had the whole lovely storyline of Ginny being non-binary, not conforming to social norms of gender and sexy, and then she was told to be sexy, and we kind of lost Ginny in that.
Yeah, it missed the mark because it was trying to hit a different mark than what Ginny wanted to hit. Yeah. Sister, also in pink. I will say it for like the third episode in a row. I am confused.
I loved it from the knee down. Like, I loved the kind of like roost boot pant thing, but that was it. I
loved it from the neck down.
Okay. I mean, the blue face was a bit distracting. I didn't...
This is what I don't get. This is the constant thing that I have a problem with Sister, is that Sister can look all right, and then she's either got like a blue glory hole of a face, makeup running down her face. She's like... She is the only person I know that can put on a cocktail dress and go, ooh, you know what this needs? An arrow through my head. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I think Sister was very, very lucky this week that Ginny's look was bad. Because if it hadn't been a pairing situation, I would have put Sister in the bottom.
I think it had like a look of like, maybe like a Casey Slater kind of look.
Well, it was kind of like Crystal Method, runway, the reveal outfit. She had like the long sleeve, it was kind of that kind of vibe with the sleeve, but it just, I didn't like it. It looked well made.
Yes, I'll give her that. And I can't remember what hair she was wearing, but I assume it was all right.
The wig.
Uh-huh.
It was fine. Was it like a rooted pink?
No, it's Sister. It was probably like on fire with birds in it, and all the birds had blue faces and no one knew why. But we'll move along before I get myself worked up about Sister, just confusing the life out of me. We'll move on to blue, which was Estina, first of all.
Yes.
In this kind of Sailor Moon goes to the farmer's market.
The hair was nice, with the little like spit curl drawn on.
That dress would be perfectly fine for a Tuesday night DJing for a £15 Scottish guest slot.
You just said it. I think I wore something very similar when we went ice skating 4 years ago when I started drag. It was like my second week of drag, and
it was just...
Paul said it was a figure skating outfit. It was.
Yeah. And I think proportions were really off. I think had that skirt been 3 times bigger and had like a few petticoats under it.
Yeah, just something. Like, and even when they were like, oh, you know, the necklace makes the ice skating, she ripped it off. Did it help?
Yeah.
It didn't help.
It just... what was special about it?
This is the thing. It was a design challenge. Yes, it looked well made. There was no holes in it. It was hemmed. It had the right things for a successful outfit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was literally a top and a skirt you could have bought in any high street shop on a sale rack for like £10.
Yeah. It's an ASOS tennis dress.
Yeah, it was a bit... Like, she didn't even stone it. I know she was saying she wanted to be simplistic and stuff. There was an embellished belt, which was a pre-made trim.
Yeah.
That was it.
I don't know what could have been done to that particular outfit to make it better.
It was very safe.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, safe isn't safe this week. And like, obviously, I don't know how long they get for a design challenge on Drag Race. I assume it's like 8 hours.
Yeah, they got... So we had this fact check before they got 8 hours to do what they did.
8 hours. She made a circle skirt, not even a lot, like literally a mini circle skirt and a long sleeve high neck lycra top. And it took
Which she made essentially what Tia Coffee made, but Tia Coffee made it in half the time because Tia Coffee changed her mind halfway through.
Yeah, and obviously we'll get to Tia when we get to Tia, but Tia's looked lined.
Yeah.
It didn't look lined. So I don't know what she spent the time doing. And, you know, Bimini said to her, oh, are you going to do anything else? And she said, no, I'm done. I don't have any time left. What did you spend the next 6 hours on? The wig? I don't know.
It wasn't practicing a choreography, but we'll talk about that later. Also on the blue team, Bimini, Bobbity Boo, Triple B, Bimini Boulash.
I liked Bimini's dress on the dress form in the workroom.
I like Bimini's dress on Bimini, but I didn't like it with the hair.
Yeah, the styling was a bit random.
That's the thing, and I think that kind of sums Bimini up to a T as well. The styling is random, but I think with that particular look, I would have really just liked to have seen her kind of sell it with a Jessica Rabbit bang, kind of.
Just a really good white or blonde or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shoe was nice, but again, I don't know if it was right for the look. It was fine. She used a lot of interesting
mix of fabrics to create her own textile, to then create her own look, which I really appreciate.
If the lace hadn't had a bit of sparkle and stuff in it, it would have been very bad. But
yeah,
you picked the right fabrics and knew what to do with it. It wasn't bad. It was fine.
Yeah. Moving on to Team Green. Vicky, Veronica? I'm actually going to call her by her name, Veronica, because I liked what she wore.
I did as well. I think, another week like vanity, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
It was nice to see the different shades of green. It was, she said herself, it was lined, it was hemmed. It was well made. It kind of, I don't know, is this just like a Newcastle thing, but it gave me like, someone's just guest judge drag idol, and then they're going to Pink Room afterwards and need something to change into for the night out.
Yeah. What I wish, had she had time, which it might have been a time thing, because credit where credit's due, it had a sleeve, it was lined, it had cutouts, and everything was sewn meticulously. I wish it had been on a mesh, and the mesh had been stoned or something, just to add a dimension to it. It could have been just elevated to a higher level.
They all got stones in that box. Like, Horror had black ones, Horror had gold one. They all got stones. You could have stoned it. I know it's equally shiny, but We live against Stone.
It was the thing I'll give Veronica credit for. She has served 6 different silhouettes now.
Yeah, you know, she really has shown us something different every week. I've never looked at her and thought, oh, here you go again.
Yeah.
In dress, which is a good thing. Like, it's nice to see variety. And obviously, out of the two, she was the top.
Yeah. I think she could have easily kind of remade her entrance look, and it would have looked more glamorous, especially in that green sequin. But she's trying to mix it up, and she's trying to show us that she can do something different.
I know we said about the Courtney Act comparison. Again, this was very similar to Courtney's pink.
Yeah.
It could have been from the same collection, just in green.
Yeah. Also on Team Green, Tia Coffee.
Bless her heart. I think this is the prettiest Tia has looked in the entire competition. Her makeup.
In the face.
From the neck up, stunning.
Yes.
It was just...
Apart from that quality street wrapper in her hair masquerading as a bow.
It was just unfortunate that she chose to wear what she did.
Now, I liked the skirt, and I thought the skirt was interesting because it wasn't just a plain circle skirt.
And the skirt actually looked really well made. Well, not really well made. It looked really well made for someone who doesn't know, so.
Yes. If she'd kind of made a dress in that handkerchief hem, one shoulder with the sleeve, if it had just been shorter with like a big waistband or something, it could have looked at least a bit more interesting and fashion.
Yeah, I think the issue here was obviously it had holes under the sleeve. It was just random shades of green thrown together. There was no like thought about colour or anything like that.
Yeah.
What I will say is though, she specifically said in the workroom, I'm not going to play it safe and change the look. Is a circle skirt not the safest thing you could make on Drag Race?
It is like
a circle.
You don't even have to sew a circle skirt if you've got enough fabric.
Oh, if it's a good lycra,
one circle and a bit of elastic in the waistband, and you're like, no, that's me.
So, but maybe it wasn't safe because she got to make it. I don't know, but to me, it felt safe.
Yeah, it was the kind of. It was the Estina effect of trying to make something really simple.
At least with Tia, you could see that she put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
Also, she had stones, she had a belt, she had a bow. There was like lots of different things that she tried to do. Was it successful? No. And she tried? Yes.
And lastly, Team Gold. Lawrence Cheney comes out.
This was well made.
Mm-hmm.
I love the sleeve with the stones and the cuff. That was lovely.
But I feel like there's a book coming.
Yeah, no, it was fine. Like, it didn't excite me at all.
It felt like something Michelle would wear to a finale.
I think this is the thing. We've seen it before.
Yeah.
It's a sequin fishtail dress with a V-neck in it.
Yeah.
Was it made well? Yes. It looked like she brought it from home.
It looked like she hadn't just made it in the last 8 hours.
Yeah, it was so well made. Do I think it was fashion and did it excite me? No.
I think I didn't like the hair. I didn't like the white with the gold.
Yeah, I guess she was going for this, like, just the Golden Girls or whatever, like, old lady, blah, blah, blah. But just like a nice rooted blonde or...
A rooted blonde, a rooted brown, something that was just kind of more with the colour story.
Yeah, I think the white hair made it too costumey. I think that's my issue here.
I'm sure Lawrence is like 23.
And looked 43.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a solid choice and it was made well.
Yeah. The second one on Team Gold, Ellie Diamond.
I saw where the judges were coming from in the fence. It was very costumey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she obviously put a lot of work into it, and it fit amazing. And again, I assume she did the hair herself.
Yeah, she will have.
I think Ellie's shortfall this week is that she was paired with Lawrence.
Yeah. Oh, if Ellie had been paired with any single other person, she would have been in the top.
She would have been. Do I think it was better than Lawrence's? No.
It was just a bit waitress at a pirate cafe.
And I think this is the thing, when the judges are saying to you, oh, it looks like a pirate, it looks like Beyonce, it looks like, what was the other one? Something from Pantomime anyway.
Panto Dame.
Yeah, if that's the case, it's not new or fresh, is it? We've seen it before. If they can pick 3 different references off the top of their head, then...
It's not unique. And it's not screaming Ellie Diamond.
I felt for her, she looked crushed when obviously she wasn't in the top. I think it was just unfortunate pairing for her this week though.
So the tops and bottoms get announced. So the tops were Ahura, Sister, Veronica Green, Bimini Bobbidi Boo, and Lawrence walks away from the win. Do you think the right person won tonight?
I was torn between Ahura and Lawrence. I personally would have preferred to wear Ahura's outfit. But I can see why Lawrence won the challenge.
I think
my issue with this episode was usually in a design challenge, like, we'll all message the group chat, like, oh my god, how amazing is this, blah, blah, blah. I didn't feel that way about anyone tonight.
Yeah, there was nothing that I like, because normally when like there's a good runway look, I'm texting you going, can you make me this? Like, can this be made?
Or like I can add a sleeve to something I've already got and make it look like that, or, you know, I actually think my favourite look, if it had been done properly, it was Tase's.
Yeah, I agree.
It was just unfortunate that she didn't sew it properly.
Yeah, if Tase could sew...
Tase could sew, I think...
That would have been a cool look. I think
know,
there was a clear bottom 3.
Oh my god, totally. And I think if it hadn't been the pair situation, the bottom 5 stood there wouldn't have had Tase or Ellie in it.
Who do you think would have been there instead of Tase or Ellie?
I would have put Sister and Bimini in the bottom.
Bimini?
Yeah, I think Bimini's was fine, but realistically it's between Bimini and Veronica's.
I mean, in reality, it probably wouldn't have been, if we were judging it properly, it would have been bottom 3, and I think the bottom 3 was correct.
It was totally correct. It was just unfortunate pairing for Tase and Ellie this week.
To say if we were judging this as a regular, no split down the middle, who would the top 3 and bottom 3 be?
I would have thought Ahura, Lawrence and Ellie would have been the tops. Based on the facts, they were all well made. You know, Veronica's was good.
Yeah.
Wasn't my favourite out of the top 4. I think Bimini was very middle of the pack. Tase, although it was amazing, was very middle of the pack in terms of construction and stuff. So it's top 4, and unfortunately Veronica's just wasn't. Yeah.
I fully agree with you there. My top 3 probably would have been Ahura, Ellie, Lawrence, and then my bottom 3 would have probably remained as Ginny, Estina and Tia.
I think we would have probably seen Sister, Tase and Bimini safe.
Yes. And I think Sister probably would have only remained safe because there was something interesting about their look.
Yeah. Like, I actually personally preferred Tia's look to Sister's look.
Really?
I did, yeah. I loved Sister's pant.
But that was kind of where it started and ended for you.
Yeah. At least Tia, like, her makeup was lovely, her hair was lovely, she had the bow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the pairing this week really messed up some people's chances. Yeah. But never mind.
Well, I still think the same person would have went home.
Yeah, definitely.
But so we head backstage.
Yeah.
And Ahura is pissed that she did not get the win.
Now, my heart goes out to her a little bit because, you know, she bigged herself up as I'm a London College of Fashion graduate. I'm great at making things. And don't get me wrong, it was really good what she did. But effectively, it was a black catsuit with rhinestones on it and a sequin bolero.
Yeah.
The boots are amazing. Like, credit where credit's due. I can't believe she made those.
Yeah.
But she could have been gracious in defeat.
And I think that's like going to be a consistent problem with her, where she can't accept not being the best.
Yeah.
And so far, she has consistently not been the best.
You know, we saw it with Jan in season 12 when she didn't win the Madonna musical.
Mm-hmm.
The face crack and blah, blah, blah. But at least I feel like Jan saw the funny side of it eventually.
Yeah.
I don't think Holly's ever going to see the funny side of this. I think this is it.
Yeah, I agree. So the girls come backstage, and it's very obvious that the three girls in the bottom know they're in the bottom, and they're ready to kind of lip sync. They're practicing their songs in the mirror. They know that it's going to be between the three of them. Estina's kind of making her mouth go slightly about how anyone that gets in the bottom with her better watch out, because she is going to serve it.
I haven't seen Estina perform personally or met her, but I do know she did a lot of work with Limerick Pride, which is where I'm based now, and apparently she's an amazing performer. I don't think that lip sync was an amazing performance. Don't get me wrong, it was a good performance.
We'll talk about the lip sync, because I think she definitely had this kind of disinterested, might be the word I'd use, where she was performing. It was almost like she was performing on Zoom, and she wasn't getting audience reactions, so she had no interest in doing it.
It was kind of like, it just came across as, I'm too good to be lip syncing.
Mm-hmm.
It came across, I think there's two ways effortlessness can come across. You can either look effortless in the sense that you're doing amazing, it looks easy to you, but everyone's like, oh, well done, you know.
Yeah.
Hers looks effortless in the sense that she did leg kick, and that was kind of it.
Do you know, I wasn't watching her.
I think, you know, I thought Estina was going to be like a lip sync assassin.
Mm-hmm.
The way she's kind of, you know, she told us in the musical that she can sing, she can dance. When she walked in, she's the best dancer the competition's ever seen.
Yep.
It's not a lip sync we're going to talk about next week and be like, oh my god.
I think what really helped Tia with the win was the passion Tia had, and it looked like Tia wanted to stay.
It came across to me that Tia thought she was going home. So just, okay, I'm going to put my all into it. I'm going to do a really a good last number before I get kicked off. And it showed that she was enthusiastic and wanted to perform well.
Yeah.
Estina's came across as, although it was a good performance, it just came across as,
Yeah, and I think that was Estina thinking, well, there's no way I'm going to lose, so I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what let her down.
Like, I assume Estina can do splits and cartwheels and tricks and flips. There was none of it.
Where was it?
You thought
and it's hardly the greatest song to kind of lip sync to.
Like, I know on the show you've kind of discussed about the lip sync choices. This week was Dua Lipa. It wasn't the best song, but like, there's more. I think there's more that could have been done, and it just wasn't done. I said the kick was amazing. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I could, but that's me. You know, not everyone can be perfect and humble like myself.
I don't know. I was underwhelmed because I had such high expectations of Estina to be like amazing lip sync.
So, do you think based on the lip sync, the right person went home?
100%.
Me too.
Even if we hadn't have had the lip sync, I still think Tia's outfit had more effort than Estina's, and I guess it's the same with the lip sync. Tia's lip sync had more effort in it than Estina's.
Yeah. So, if I asked you now to put money on it, who's going to win UK Drag Race Season 2, who do you pick?
I would probably put my money on Lawrence, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
I think I was actually shocked that Lawrence wasn't on Season 1.
So was I.
Because Lawrence is such... Like, I've known Lawrence's drag oh my god, for at least 4 or 5 years now, if not longer.
Yeah.
And is such a Scottish staple.
Mm-hmm. And I think I've known Lawrence since Lawrence started, and it's really great to see that kind of representation on the UK Drag Race Season 2. So I think my money still consistently has been on Lawrence.
I think the thing with Lawrence is, Lawrence can do really old school drag well, new drag well. It's funny, can sew, can do hair, can act, can kind of sing. And what more do you want from a winner?
Yeah. Well-rounded.
Well-rounded.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me.
For having me.
Been a pleasure having you, especially to talk about a fashion-related challenge. I couldn't think of a better guest.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, for those of you at home, don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, hit the little bell icon so you get notifications every time I post. And of course, I will be back here next week with another fabulous special guest. See you on the next one. Bye.